So, Davey, give me a brief understanding of your background and how you got started in mixed martial arts.
Right. So, I mean, to be fair, I started pretty early. I was like 14 when I started doing like grappling competitions and things like that. I was only doing kickboxing really at the time, and this was like back in 2001. And a few of the guys started like sort of like just dabbling in sort of like MMA type thing. Didn't really know what it was. It just was like rolling about on the floor to me. I didn't have a clue what it was, to be honest. But I seemed to be pretty good at it straight away. So I started doing like grappling competitions and stuff like that. And I had my first fight in 2002. So it was like February 2002. And it was like, people were still smoking in the pubs and that. That's how long ago it was. And it was in like, there was no cages or anything. It was just in a ring. And then, so I think I was about 15 at the time when I had my first fight, 14 at my first grappling competition. And then the next few years, like I went through my teenage years, I was just in and out of the gym, wasn't really taking it too seriously till I got to about, I think it was about 19, 20 when I really started knuckling in. And then a lot more fight shows and things started coming around then.
Yeah.
You know, because there was like, it was, I lost interest because there was no fights. There was no fights or anything coming up. And it was hard to stay focused at that age, you know what I mean? So, but then it got a lot more popular. And then there was fight shows coming up all the time. So that's when I sort of got into it a bit more seriously when I was about 19, 20. And then been training like sort of full time ever since now.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a better place to move on to than your last fight. Third round.
Oh, yeah.
Third round TKO, or KO actually, my mistake, over Martin Day. 6 months into that fight, what is your opinion on that now?
I mean, I mean, honestly, I absolutely loved it. It was just a fantastic fight to be a part of. I mean, I wanted a war going in there. I thought this is a big stage. It was probably like one of the biggest cards I'd ever been on, even if I was just like the first fight on it. But it was like the first fight on Fight Island, and it was a guy. I just thought he was a great opponent. You know, as soon as I looked at him, I thought this guy's here for a scrap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I knew he wasn't going to try and take me down, and I love fights like that. And I mean, it was a hell of a fight. I mean, broke me jaw in the first round. Wasn't what I was expecting, obviously, but I thought I still already had it in my mind. I thought if I wanted to take him down and control him, I could have done. You know, I felt like I was a lot higher level on the floor, but I didn't want that type of fight.
Yeah.
So even when my jaw was broke, I still thought, nah, just stick to the game plan. Just let's go out there and just have a proper good tear up, whether it's like better for me or not. I just wanted one of them fights. Do you know what I mean? And then just managed to get the knockout in the third round. It was fantastic. And honestly, even if I'd have lost that fight, I would have still loved it because they're the type of fights I want to be involved in. I want to be in fights for the ages. Do you know what I mean? But and hats off to him because you need that opponent to do those sort of fights. Do you know what I mean? It's like you need someone who's going to stand there and trade with you no matter what. And he was a great candidate for that.
Martin Day might disagree with this statement, but it's one of them fights where certainly for the fans, nobody loses. It's just, as you say, an absolute tear up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And one thing you mentioned then, I know you got the performance of the night bonus, but you never actually got fight of the night. Were you surprised by that at all?
No, you know what it is. I watched a few of the fights back at the hotel when I got back from the hospital. I thought there was a couple of good fights. You know, I did think it was one of the fight of the night. It would have been nice to get the fight of the night and the performance of the night down. You know what I mean? It would have been double the bonus money, so it would have been nice. But I mean, I was more wanting the fight of the night, really. So Martin could have got, because I felt like he deserved a good chunk of money as well, type thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I was really happy with the performance of the night. To get a performance of the night, I mean, two people out of like, I don't know, so what, 24 fighters get a performance of the night? And looking at the guys that were on that card, and I managed to get one myself, it was a bit surreal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of them like legends I've watched for years and years. So I was honest, I was chuffed to bits. It would have been nice for Martin to get something off it. And if we got fight of the night, obviously we both get the 50 grand. But it's just how it goes. But I mean, yeah, there was other good fights on there, so I wasn't going to grumble.
Yeah. And one thing you just touched on there in your previous answer was the fact that it was the first fight on UFC Fight Island. I think that's been one of the big storylines this year, hasn't it? The Fight Island. It's kind of captured a lot of people's imagination. How proud definitely. How proud are you with that to be the very first fight on such a big event?
I mean, yeah, honestly, I was chuffed. It was sort of like I was thinking, oh, it's epic. This, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I only got 4 weeks to prepare for the fight, But I was like, oh, first fight on Fight Island. It was like a proper buzz. And I was thinking, this is fucking going to go down in history, this. You know what I mean? Let's go out there and have a proper good scrap. You know, so, and it turned out to be like probably my most memorable fight, probably my best win ever in the UFC. Lovely KO and like fighting through adversity as well, the way the fight went. And it was a dream come true, honestly. It was like, I'm still buzzing about it.
What was the facilities like on Fight Island and the protocol? What was that experience like?
Unbelievable. Honest, didn't have to look after you. It was everything from like setting off. You know, I mean, don't get us wrong. It was horrible at first because we were like, as soon as we got to London before our flight, we had 2 days quarantine where we weren't even allowed in the same room as our cornerman or anything. Yeah. So I was just like stuck in a room, just like doing skipping and press ups and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just trying to keep my weight coming down slightly and just bored to death, just watching telly and trying to base me meals and workouts around the telly type thing.
Yeah.
So it was a bit crap in London, but then as soon as we got to the airport, it was like straight into the airport. It was a private jet and everything. You straight through the security, like not waiting about in the airport, and now straight on a private jet. All like I've never flew first class before. You know what I mean? We just come from a working class family in Bishop Auckland. We'd never done that like that, and it was funny. We got on the jet and. It was all proper fancy and that, and you could lie down flat in the first class section. Do you know what I mean? And I was that excited about lying down flat, I couldn't even get to sleep. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So on the flight, it was great to go and get there. And then the hotel, they really looked after you. Everything was spot on. It was a bit weird having to walk about with your masks on and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a lot more normal now. Back then, when we did it, it still seemed a bit like different. Yeah. Now everyone's just sort of used to wearing masks and stuff with the way the world's going.
Yeah.
But the hotel really looked after us, and it was like we had our whole like it was just like an island to ourselves type thing. So there was like buses taking us to different parts of the safe zone, what it was in Abu Dhabi. So we had like our own private beach, and so we could go in the sea. There was like the private golf course and everything. The UFC had all the nutritionists, all your physiotherapists, everything on site, and anything you wanted, they go and sort out for you. It was they really looked after us. It was great, honest, fantastic experience.
Yeah. But one thing I did want to touch upon about Fight Island was that first scheduled card was catered for the American pay-per-view audience. So memory serves, you had to fight that card in the early hours of the morning Abu Dhabi time. Is that correct?
Say that again, sorry, I lost you a bit there.
I said, sorry, so the pay-per-view, the card was suited for the American pay-per-view audience.
Oh, yeah.
What time did you have to fight and how difficult was that?
Yeah, I think mine was a little bit easier than most of them because I knew exactly what time I was going on with it being the first fight, and it was 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. So it was I was just like sort of just doctor. I've done the cards like that before. I'm not a fan, in all honesty. But you just got to do what you do, haven't you? But I did one in Manchester before. I think I went out about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and for weeks I was trying to change my body clock round. It's a hard thing to do, especially because we were in England at the time. I mean, we were same in Abu Dhabi. It's different if you're doing a fight in a different country and you're trying to get your body clock right because their time zones are like right. So like it's the lights coming up at the right time and going down at the right time. But when you're somewhere else and you've got to like fight at 2:00 in the morning when you should be in bed, it's testing for the body. But I didn't try when I did it in Manchester. I overdid it. I tried way too hard to change it. When I think what it is the way I looked at it is I thought I was doing the right thing in Manchester. So I was getting my body prepared to do it in the morning, in like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. But I was thinking to myself, look, if someone came in my house and robbed my house 2:00 in the morning, I'm going to be able to jump up out of bed and fight them no matter what. So you just your body will be prepared for it no matter what. You know, you're going into a fight, you don't need to prepare yourself. So this time I was staying up a bit later during the week and doing a little training session maybe on the night just for a few days before the fight. And that sufficed, like.
Yeah. And in a similar way to Fight Island, the novelty of Fight Island, another big part of your career was you were a finalist on The Ultimate Fighter season 18.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was great. Honest, I loved that. I always wanted from watching the first ever Toughs. I loved the show, and it was my dream to get on that show. And I would literally do anything to get on that show because that I knew that was going to be the way I was going to get into the UFC. But not just that, I just wanted to experience it. I like the fact that like you were watching people and everyone's watching you and seeing how good you are, and it's all about the way you fight and how hard you train. And I like people to see how hard I can train. I like to know what people are thinking about me, like from an outside point of view. And it was, I don't know, it was just always something that I want to experience, not just getting locked in a house and being like, right, I've just got to fight everyone in here to try and win. It was like, it just excited me. And it was, like I say, one of them experiences, you can't buy those things. You know, you can have all the money in the world and you cannot buy that experience. You can't buy them experiences. You've got to earn it. And you've got to be lucky enough to get chose for the show and stuff like that. Like I said, it's the priceless experiences. And even though I got beat in the finale, I got the contract in the end of it. That was the main goal. I was obviously gutted about getting beat. It was a tough one to take. But if you'd have said to me before the show, would you take a loss on the finale to get in the UFC, I'd have said, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest with you, that would be, in my opinion, one of the more hollow endings to an Ultimate Fighter, because of obviously the way in which the winner, Chris Holdsworth's career ended. I think he only had one.
Yeah, I know, it was a shame. I mean, I like Chris. He's a good guy. I spent a bit of time with him in the house. Still talk to him every now and again on the internet. I was going to go and do some training over Alpha Male. I haven't been over yet, but I mean, I was gutted for him, and it was a fight that I was going to, like, with no disrespect, I was going to try and get back, try and avenge that loss. I thought it's a good one to try and work back to. You know, I don't feel like I performed. I think he did great. He beat me fair and square. It would have been nice to try and to avenge that loss. And I'm not going to now, but good luck to Chris. I know he's doing really well on the coaching squads at Alpha Male and that now, and he's a top man. Beat me, and I was gutted for him. You know, he had a lot to give. I think he was still unbeaten in his career, and yeah, it's a shame.
It is, yeah, definitely. Now, let's look to your future, and specifically the fight that's been booked. 13th of March, you will face Jonathan Martinez.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on Martinez as an opponent?
Say that again, sorry?
Sorry, you will face Jonathan Martinez on the 13th of March. What are your opinions on Martinez as an opponent?
All right, so, I mean, Martinez, I've been watching him. He's a great fighter. Loves to stand. That's another good thing, you know. It's always nice when you get someone who you think, oh, champion, he's coming to scrap here. He's not coming to hug me legs. So it makes for an exciting fight, and he's ranked higher than me. He's coming off a great win off Thomas Almeida. So it just excites me. I want the big fights. You know, like, I'm getting on now. You know, so like, the bigger fights I can get, the better fights I can get. I want to be in those exciting fights, those fight of the night contenders, you know, like when you got to dig in, it gets a bit scrappy. And I feel like he's definitely one of those guys. He's like, he doesn't take a backward step. Massive respect for people who fight like that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Can I ask, it feels a little bit like, to me, both of you are on a 2-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
The winner will obviously go to 3. Is it fair to say whoever wins the fight really takes a step up into maybe getting a ranked opponent next?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm hoping for, to be fair, and I'm sure he's the same. You know, it'd be great to try and like, sort of break into that top 15, and I think this is definitely the fight to do it. And like you say, this is probably for both of us. I'd like to think so. That's definitely in my mind. I'm wanting to, like I say, I want to get the biggest fights possible. This one hopefully can just propel me into trying to get those. Yeah, any of the guys in the top 15, and I'd jump to fight. And this is a great one to get me up there.
Yeah, and talking about tear-ups, if there is someone in the top 15, not necessarily who would be a good matchup for you, but someone who you think would just make for an excellent fight between you and somebody else, who would you pick?
I mean, to be honest, any single one of them. I would love, like, from a selfish point of view, I would love Aldo or Cruz or someone like that. You know, just because they're such big names, you know, just to get in there with them, it would be a dream come true after watching them for so many years. And really, I mean, I'm massive fans of all the guys. I'm a fight fan as well as a fighter. Do you know what I mean? And I respect all the guys who fight in the UFC. And I've been watching them 2 guys for a lot of time. And it would be great to go and step in there with one of them. You know, like one of the sort of the alumni, the big guys. It would be great. Like,
well, one of the ranked opponents in the bantamweight division is someone I actually wanted to mention, because it was one of your previous opponents, Marlon Chito Vera.
Yes, I mean, honestly, like Cheeto, I mean, I'd love to fight him again because he's done so well. You know, I don't know if he would want to fight me again or. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people say, "Well, why don't you call him out?" I was like, "Why would he want to? Why would he want to fight me again?" Do you know what I mean? He doesn't gain anything from it. He'll just shoot me down, and he'll say, "Look, I'm miles past you now." And he is. He's done brilliant since he fought me. I mean, he lost the last one against Aldo, and then he lost that one. I thought he won it, the one that he fought at featherweight, and then and he had like a 6-fight win streak or something like that, and he was smashing it. So. I mean, it would be great to fight him just to, even though I've already got a win over him, just to try and propel myself up there. But like I say, anyone, I'm not really too fussed. I'm not even a one for calling people out. I've never done that in my career. I'll just fight whoever's put in front of us, and the higher they are, then the better chance I've got of getting myself up there. So yeah, coming after any of those guys, to be honest.
Yeah, but I'm sure your focus is on the Martinez fight.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely.
Davey, last question, then I will get you out of here. I know we're both busy.
Yes, no worries.
Give me a prediction for the fight on the 13th of March. What goes down? What happens?
So, I mean, I'm expecting, honestly, in all truth, he's a tough cookie. I know he's going to be in there and he's going to take some stop, and I'm expecting a proper war. That's what I want, you know, and I'm sure he does as well. No, he's a gamer, you can tell that, and I love that. It excites me, the fact of thinking I'm going to get in there, we're going to get bloodied up, we're going to have a proper terror. I'm going to knock him out first round. You know what I mean? Going as wrong, that's what I'm going for. I'm always going to try and knock you out first round. You know, that's always going to be the game plan. But what I always say, and what I've always said, is the early finish is a bonus, but you've got to go in there prepared for war. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going in prepared for. Anytime I see, or I'm going to be chucking the knockout punches, kicks, whatever I can. If I see a submission, I'll jump on it. But I'm expecting an all-out war, and I can't wait.
Well, I can't wait either.
Thanks,
I hope anyone watching this has been sold on this bout, to be perfectly honest. I think it'll be a fantastic fight.
Thanks, man.
Before we finish, Davey, how can people find you on social media?
Yes, I mean, I've got on the usual things. What is it? Twitter and like at Davey Grant MMA, and Instagram. I think that one's the same. I've just signed up. I've just become like on a new app. It's called Pipped. It's like where people, they have to pay to sort of follow professionals on the journeys and things like that. So that's just getting released. So if people want to keep track of that, I'll be posting about it on my social media over the next couple of weeks. There's some like massive people on there, maybe not following it for me, but there's some massive celebrities on there, like Lewis Capaldi, and there's loads of people from what I've seen on it, and that seems to be really taking some momentum at the minute. So that'll be a good thing. I'll be posting a lot of stuff, a lot of back-scene stuff from training, at the fights, diets, and things like that on there, and you've got like options to buy different bits of kit from different like sponsors and things like that. So yeah, that's definitely going to be worth a mention.
Superb. And before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I just thank you. I mean, obviously, thanks. I very appreciate you getting in touch. It was nice to chat. Big mention for all my training partners, all my sponsors, everything like that. They all know who they are. I know they've all helped me out for a long time. It's I've got a pretty solid team around me, you know, including my family. Just thank you to everyone like that.
Superb. Davey, thanks a lot for talking to me tonight.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Cheers, pal.